Hey everyone, Daniel here from the Truck Insurance Channel. And in this video, I'm talking about pending revocations on your authority. You might have heard of or already gotten a super serious letter from the FMCSA about your authority being revoked. People really freak out when they get these letters. The verbiage comes off a little life-threatening, so I understand why. I'll explain how all this works and what options you might have. To preface this video, there's a lot of things that can go wrong with your authority. Some things in your control and a whole lot of things that are out of your control. So it's really important to keep a tight grip on the things you can control and try and educate yourself and be prepared for the things that you just can't. So first off, why do people get a pending revocation status on their authority? Well, there are many reasons that lead to a company getting a pending revocation status, but the biggest and most common reason has to do with insurance. Insurance companies can notify the FMCSA to revoke your authority for a number of reasons. The main reason being payments. When you don't pay your insurance payments, the insurance company is required to notify the FMCSA and give them a heads up that the policy will be canceling. There's a 35-day waiting period from the date of mailing or electronically submitting the notice to the FMCSA before the insurance company can actually cancel your policy. When the insurance company does your federal filings for your authority, they're actually committing to the FMCSA that they will insure your business and provide required notices. This is kind of a double-edged sword. It's nice that the insurance company can't just cancel your policy and yank your authority filings the day after you don't pay, rendering your authority inactive, but it also leaves behind a record of pending revocation notices for everyone to see. And in particular, underwriters at all the other insurance companies, not just your current one. When an underwriter sees a history of pending revocations, it's easy for them to tell that you have trouble with your payment history, and most all insurance companies consider this a risk factor and often deny quotes and or renewal offers when these add up, so it can make it very difficult, if not impossible, for you to get insurance with another company in the future. There's other reasons a pending revocation might pop up, and then the next most common reason we see these is when there's an issue with underwriting. It could be that an underwriter wants to verify a garaging address for one of your vehicles, or a change on your authority after binding your policy and you haven't responded to their emails, letters, etc. So then they pend your policy for cancellation to hopefully get your attention. This works pretty good. So how do you fix this? If you're late on payment, get it caught up ASAP and keep it caught up. Paying on time is super important because it's easy for other companies to tell if you aren't. And you don't want to ruin your chances of finding insurance in the future. Insurance should definitely be treated as a priority because it can create the biggest issues if you don't. If you have an insurance agent, reach out to them and make sure there isn't anything going on with your policy that needs attention. If you work directly with companies like Progressive or 3 by Berkshire, you'll have to call the 800 number and ask what's going on. It could be something as easy as updating an address or verifying a vehicle, but keep in mind, if there are changes to the policy, it could always change the cost too, so make sure you consult with your insurance before you change anything, not afterward, all right? We run into that too much. If your policy is financed with a premium financing company, that can complicate things tremendously because there are more people involved in updating the pending revocation status, and you might feel like you get the runaround when you need things fixed quickly, like when you make your payment, but it still takes days or sometimes even weeks to get the pending revocation status removed from your authority, and brokers aren't willing to book you loads, so you need to get that done fast. I'll make another video about this to clarify everything and help you understand better why you should probably avoid policies that require premium financing. They aren't all bad, but I would only go with a policy that requires premium financing as a last resort. So what are some alternatives? Depending on your situation, there might be other options, like if you are temporarily shutting down or not running and don't want to let your authority go inactive. You need to talk with your insurance agent to see what can be done. We help a lot of our clients get coverages lowered and can even get the minimum required limit on your authority dropped down to get insurance just as cheap as possible in some scenarios. Everyone's situation is different and each company might have different rules, so keep that in mind. It might be an option for you, it might not, all right? What if you want to switch insurance companies? First off, if you were going to switch companies, there might not be any companies to switch to depending on your scenario. I highly advise you settle up any balances owed and not just try to ditch the bill. I come across this pretty often where the only other option you might have is an insurance company that you used to have, and they won't offer you a policy till you pay off the balance from your previous one, okay? That really sucks when the down payment's like $3,000 and you have a $3,000 balance and there's no other insurance company in your state that will take you. There really aren't enough options for insurance companies to begin with, so don't go burning bridges. All right, so you might be able to switch insurance companies, but you need to keep in mind that underwriters have access to a lot of resources that have all kinds of data about your trucking company. Most insurance companies don't like to see midterm switches, and if you have payment history issues, claims, inspection and safety ratings below national averages, etc., you will likely have no other option for insurance. Switching to another company midterm might happen once or twice even, but after that, you'll have nowhere left to go but down the dark, sketchy alley of starting another authority and getting labeled a chameleon, which is getting easier and easier for the FMCSA and insurance companies, underwriters to identify with all their cross-referencing data monitoring tools, so I highly recommend you don't do that. If you are interested in switching companies, my agency is more than willing to help. We've got our quote form linked below in the description, as well as a link to schedule calls with us. We are super transparent in the way we do business. We lay out any and all options that you have and work with you to make the best decisions possible. There's a reason why we have so many subscribers on here. I'm pretty passionate about helping trucking companies. If you have questions, feel free to drop a comment below, email us, or schedule a consultation call with us. It's free, and we'll help you with your situation in any way we can. Thanks for watching. Hit those like and subscribe buttons, and keep an eye out for future videos.